If you are looking for the best battery to run your bus, RV, or van conversion this year or the next, you have a ton of options, too many in fact. But after dozens of hours of research and 3 years living off-grid in our 40-foot school bus conversion, I've narrowed it down to just one that I think is perfect for almost everybody. A little wet out here. Oh boy. Okay. And here it is, the Signature Solar EG4 24 volt 200 amp hour server rack battery. This is the battery that I think will work best for most applications with a couple caveats. Now real quick, I want to talk about the state of the lithium battery market today. 5 years ago when I was building this bus, there were almost no options in the market and they were extremely expensive. Because of that, I focused only on American-backed companies with big 10-year warranties. This narrowed me down to two products, the Battleborn 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery and the Lion Energy 115 amp hour, no, 105 amp hour, but they both cost about $900 to $1,000 each. And it turns out these batteries have proven to be very reliable. So having a 10-year warranty or an American-backed company, to me at this point is much less important, which opens us up to a ton of extremely affordable options. If you were to buy this Signature Solar battery today, it'll cost you $1,259, and it's equivalent to 4 Battleborn batteries, which still cost about $900 each. That's $3,700 versus $1,259, and you would still have to wire it and fuse it, which is going to cost extra money. It's really kind of a no-brainer. Those dinosaur companies, forget about them.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Now let's talk about form factor, because in a bus, RV, or van, there's only a few locations where we can put a battery bank like this. Maybe in a couch, maybe in a cabinet, maybe underneath the bed, but we need the size to be appropriate. Now this battery is 17.5 wide, 18.5 long, and 6 inches tall. And you can lay them on their back, or you can stack them on top of each other. So I think they're quite adaptable and a great size, even though they're quite big to most of the spaces that we would put them in. At 24 volts with 200 amp hours of capacity, we've got a bit over 5 kilowatt hours of storage in just this one battery, which is quite a lot. Now, if you're wondering how much battery you need, I recommend if you are a one person or possibly two living in a smaller rig like a van or a short bus, you might be able to get by with one. If you have a larger rig and up to 4 people living in your bus, I think you definitely need 2. And if you want to be sure that you have plenty of storage because you've got an all-electric rig, maybe a whole family living in there, maybe you want to run 2 mini-split air conditioners, and you want to get through, like, for example, the winter in the Pacific Northwest where there's not a ton of sun, then I definitely think you should get 3 batteries or maybe even 4 batteries. And one of the great things about this server rack battery, besides its form factor, the fact that there's basically 4 batteries in this, is it has its own breaker, which means that you don't have to fuse it because the wires coming to it and from it are protected by that breaker. And the breaker also serves as a shut-off switch, so you can shut off each individual battery to service them. If that's something you end up needing to do, you probably won't though. Now this 24 volt battery has a 100 amp discharge rating, and that means you can run 2400 watts continuous out of just one of these batteries. So a 3000 VA Multiplus by Victron, which is a really popular inverter, will work with one, but you want to bump up to 2 batteries at least if you're going to be doing any more than 2400 watts, like running a water heater and a mini split at the same time, because that'll bring you up to a 200 amp discharge rating with 2 batteries in parallel, and that will allow you to pull 4800 watts from your battery bank. Additionally, this battery's got all the safety features we need, like a BMS that will shut it off before it gets completely depleted, as well as a overcharge current limiter and a low temperature protection shutoff. This battery, if frozen, if you charge it with your solar power, let's just say you're at like a ski resort and you're gone all day and your bus is out in the sun and your battery is frozen, it's going to damage it if you charge it. And the battery doesn't know not to do that if it doesn't have a low temperature protection shutoff. So this one has that as well, and it's something that you probably need. By the way, if you'd like help planning your electrical system, check out our Patreon, SchoolYourSupport.com, where myself and Chuck Cassidy, who's been building school bus conversions for over 10 years, provide unlimited monthly consulting for a fee. You can also sign up for free. I'm going to be updating members on great price batteries in the future, so check out our Patreon, SchoolYourSupport.com. You can expect this battery to last at least 5,000 life cycles if you charge it down to just 5%, which is what I recommend that you do because I want you to get the most out of this battery, and 5,000 life cycles is going to take a really long time, probably close to 10 years. Even after those 10 years, it's still going to work. The storage is just going to slowly degrade, kind of like your phone, but just way slower. It comes with a 5-year warranty from Signature Solar, and the only downside is that they have a $150 flat rate shipping fee. So basically you got to add on $150 for one battery, $75 for 2, $50 for 3, so on and so forth. But they don't have free shipping like a lot of the other manufacturers. And if you want to get something smaller than this, there's a more affordable option coming up soon. Now for years, all we really had was those plastic cased Group 24, Group 31 batteries, and you had to basically rip them apart to service them. But with this server rack battery, we've got this great metal case, and you can just take off the lid to check it out make sure everything's okay. So before you send it off for a warranty, you can just figure out, oh, for some reason I have a loose connection. Boom. This thing is really quite a monster. So this right here, if I had 2 of them, which is what I would buy to replace my battery bank with, it would be about 1/3 more capacity than what I have down here. And as you can see, I had to wire all these together myself and fuse them. And all this wiring and fusing probably cost back then at least $100, maybe more like $150, and these days would cost like $250. We've come a long way since back when I built this bus and built that battery bank, and these days this is really all that the bus community is installing as long as they're building a big system. I've installed a couple of these before. I went out to Texas to help one of the School You Support members finish their build. This battery is just a total beast. Now, if for some reason you want to build a 12-volt system, like for example you want to replace your RV's lead-acid battery bank with lithium, or you'd like to build a small camper or an overland rig or something where you don't need a robust battery bank, then Signature Solar is too much battery at too much of a price with too much shipping. If that's the case, I recommend you check out LiTime. This is a battery manufacturer and retailer that has proven to be very reliable, still has a 5-year warranty, and makes great batteries.